In this video, we're talking about the kind of muscle activation that you should be doing during your training sessions. We'll be looking at what muscle activation means, why it helps you improve your lean muscle mass, your balance and coordination, as well as when to do it, and most importantly, how to do it. Because a lot of people are not really activating their muscles, and that means that they aren't seeing the results that are possible for them. Plus, they're opening themselves up to possible injuries. All this to say, muscle activation is extremely important, and it goes hand in hand with your form. And you'll remember, we talked about the power to feel, focus, engage, put in the effort, and listen. Just like form requires you to use all of feel, so does muscle activation. Let's start with a quick definition of muscle activation. We've given you a place to take notes on page 98 of your playbook, so please open that up and get ready to write. Muscle activation means using particular muscles for specific moves. And we'll give you some examples of this. A common mistake is just using any muscles to do the move. Because as we'll show you in a moment, you end up not getting the results that you want, and you may even get hurt. The muscles grow when you isolate a particular muscle and use that one. Let's say you're squatting, because this is a complex move that utilizes literally dozens of muscles in your legs, your glutes, your core, and your upper body for stabilization. The reality is that it's possible for you to do a squat without getting the most out of it. For example, squatting can be an excellent way to be able to grow your glutes. But if you aren't activating your glutes while you do it, if you're unintentionally using your legs, you can grow your quads or your hamstrings, not necessarily pinpointing your glutes as well. Or another example, if you aren't properly activating your core during a squat, you could risk straining your lower back, losing your balance, and suddenly find it hard to be able to hold the weight, or also discovering that you actually get tired faster and can't complete your sets because you just don't have the power to be able to keep on going. And that's how a lot of people reach a plateau that they can't seem to get past, which is obviously frustrating. This is why it matters for you to be confident that you've isolated the particular muscles that you're wanting to grow or use. Because every time that you're training, you should be activating various muscles, especially during strength training. Whenever you're focusing on building muscles, and that's even if you're just doing body weight exercises. You can also activate various muscles during dynamics as part of your warm-up to be able to get you ready for strength training. So what I'm saying is the correct time to activate your muscles is at multiple points throughout that complete workout. And you should be activating those muscles quite a lot. And I'll be honest with you, because I've heard a lot of people complain about how exercise can be boring. I understand why they might be saying that. But the reality is that if you're focusing on your muscle activation the way that we're going to be sharing with you, you won't have the time to be bored because your mind will be focused on the things that not only keep you interested, but also helps you actively prevent injuries like trips, sprains, or strains. And the better that you can actually get at activating groups of muscles at the same time, like your core and your glutes or arms, the more results that you'll see, even if you're lifting weights that are not super heavy. Again, when people wonder how I'm able to look like this year round, a lot of it has to do with the fact that I've advanced to the point where I can actually activate so many muscles at the same time while I'm training. This isn't something for beginners to try, but just to give you an example of the level that I'm training at now, when I'm hitting my arms, as you can see here, I'm also activating my core by holding my legs in a plank position and also lifting and lowering them like so. If you're new to this, don't worry. You're not going to attempt this kind of multitasking or activating multiple muscles simultaneously until after you've actually built up a really solid foundation on the basics. It's necessary to give yourself hundreds of repetitions to develop that mind-muscle coordination with activating even just one group of muscles. And when you get more advanced, you can start stacking multiple muscle groups, and that's going to actually help you squeeze even more results out of your trainings. So let's talk about how to activate your muscles. On page 98, you can see the beginning of the protocol to develop automatic accuracy with muscle activation. What you can see here is a picture of a bridge, and there are 5 points on it going across. On the left side, you can see that we're starting with situations with no multitasking. This means you can give your undiluted focus and 100% of your attention to the muscle activation without any distractions or competing commitments. On the right side, you can see we're progressing to situations with increasingly demanding multitasking. This is where your focus is diluted. So part of your attention is on your muscle activation, but at the same time, you need to focus on other stuff. The 5 steps across the bridge give you a bird's eye view of the process that you'll be using to improve your muscle activation for any muscle on your body. The first step happens lying down. So if you're at the gym, you could do this on a yoga mat, maybe in a quiet corner, or if you're at home, you could choose a comfortable flat surface to lay yourself on. You can even practice muscle activation in bed, and it's a great place to repeat them right before you go to sleep or when you wake up in the morning. The second step happens sitting down. You can do this sitting on the floor or sitting on a chair. So that makes it easier to be able to adapt when you're in a gym, but it's also something that you can actually repeat when you're sitting down anywhere, in your car, at your desk, or even just on a dining room chair. The third step happens standing up. So wherever you are, you just get on your feet and you repeat the same process. The fourth step is what we call imaginary training. We're going to give you a demonstration of imaginary training in a moment, but it's something that you can actually do both at home and also in the gym. Then the fifth and final step is real training. That means that you'll probably be in a weight room with equipment, people, and music around you, and all of those considerations add to the distractions and things happening. There's a lot more going on. So step 5 is much more demanding than step 1. The mistake that a lot of people make is they jump directly to step 5 and they try to activate their muscles in busy situations where there's a lot going on. Because in addition to the external environment, there's also the internal conversation that you can be having with yourself. A lot of people feel shy and nervous about attempting to lift weights in the gym because they don't want to look stupid or do it wrong, or they get flustered by people trying to give them advice. And that can actually prevent them from noticing their own body signals about whether or not they're truly in control. And then they can get hurt. The great thing is when you use the protocol to develop automatic accuracy with your muscle activation, you're going to build that confidence that you're doing the move the right way and that you're getting what you want out of it. Plus, you'll practice listening to yourself and blocking out those distractions around you so that when you are finally in the real training environment, you're going to be in a stronger position, both physically and mentally. Okay, so now that you've got a general overview of the 5-step process, let's talk about the details of how you're actually going to do this. And we'll give you a demonstration that you can actually follow along with. You'll find a complete breakdown of the protocol on page 99 and 100. First, a little context. To be able to accelerate your results, you should track your sessions with the 5-step protocol below for 5 minutes a day, 10 days in a row, immediately before training sessions. And you'll customize your focus on the particular muscles you want to grow during your training sessions, doing the muscle activation sequence with each step of the protocol below. So for example, your core, glutes, triceps, pec, etc. Now, in our demonstration, we're going to focus on activating your core. As I've said before, in my opinion, this is the most important muscle group for you to be able to understand how to activate. When you get good at this, that core activation is something that you can use consistently during dynamics, strength training, and also in daily life. When you have a strong core, more activated core, your performance inside and out the gym improves. That's because an engaged core helps you stop yourself from falling and tripping, and it's also key for catching yourself in moments when you unexpectedly lose your balance. And if you spend much time around pets, kids, or even just taking a walk around the block, that can happen in an instant, right? Now, Jamie's going to walk you through the muscle activation sequence and the protocol to develop automatic accuracy.
All right, I'm going to take you through the instructions and the muscle activation sequence, and we'll keep showing you some visuals at the same time, so please make sure that you can keep an eye on the screen as we go. In this case, we're focusing on your core muscles, and like you can see in this diagram, technically your core is actually a group of muscles that wrap all the way around your stomach, hips, and butt, kind of like a cage or a box. Now, some sources identify up to 29 muscle groups in the core, and right now, our priority is to make this practical and actionable, so we're going to practice activating the most obvious muscles that are the easiest for you to feel. Those are your abdominals and your obliques, and even if you have some belly fat, you're still going to be able to notice the difference when your core muscles are activated or not. All right, step 1. This happens lying down. So right now, you want to lay down on a flat surface like the floor, and if you need to bend your knees, that's okay. Now place your hand on the muscle that you want to activate. So in the center of your stomach, you want to place your hand on your abdominal muscles. Those are the muscles right in the middle. And you can also feel around to the sides of your stomach where your obliques are. The easiest way to be sure that you found your core is if you push down against your stomach. When your muscles are not activated, your hand can just push down into your stomach and it feels like there's no floor or bottom. Everything is kind of squishy. But notice that if you activate the correct muscles in your abs and your obliques, your core actually tenses up. It's flexing. And that muscle activation suddenly creates a kind of a wall or a barrier that actually stops your hand from just being able to squish into you. So you know you found the right muscles if you can make that floor stop your hand from going down into your stomach. And now that you've located those muscles, you're gonna pulse your abs and pulse your obliques 5 times by flexing and releasing. Flexing and releasing. Flexing and releasing. And while you're pulsing, it could look like this, as you're seeing in this demonstration. Flexing and releasing. And flexing and releasing. After you pulse 5 times, you're gonna hold those muscles for 5 seconds by flexing without releasing. So that's gonna look like this, basically. Right? Just notice that the weight is staying stable at the same level on the core. The weight is not dropping down into the stomach. So that's how we know we're holding it. So if you didn't do it yet, just give it a good hold. Okay, next we're gonna alternate pulsing the left side of your core and the right side of your core. So you probably wanna move your hands, kind of like you're seeing here in the demonstration, so that you can really feel those muscles activating. So you're gonna pulse and flex on the left, and then pulse and flex on the right, and pulse and flex on the left, and pulse and flex on the right. And one more time, pulse and flex on the left. Next, you're gonna hold the flex on the left side for 5 seconds continuously. And now you're gonna let go on the left, just let everything relax for a second. And now on the right side, you're gonna hold and flex. Okay, and now do both the left and the right at the same time. So you want to just flex all of those muscles simultaneously for 5 seconds. Okay, so now that we did step 1 laying down, we're gonna move into step 2, which happens sitting. So get up, get yourself into a chair or on a bench of some kind. And now that you're sitting, notice that you can squish into your stomach if you press. And again, you can stop your hand from squishing in when you activate your abs and your obliques. Okay, so pulse the muscle 5 times by flexing and releasing it. And flexing and releasing. Flexing and releasing. Flexing and releasing. Remember, when you're flexing, your hand should not be able to squish into your stomach. Now you're gonna hold the muscle for 5 seconds. You're gonna flex it, no releasing. And you may wanna press lightly against your core with your fingers so that you can just check to make sure that everything is staying activated. So let's just hold that. So next we're gonna alternate back and forth, pulsing on the left side and the right side by flexing and holding. So we're gonna pulse on the left, let go, and now on the right, pulse and hold, let go. On the left, pulse and hold. On the right, pulse and hold. Okay, now we're gonna alternate holding that flex for 5 seconds. And during this time, you shouldn't be able to press down into your stomach. On your left side, hold it, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then on the right side, hold it, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now flex all of it on both sides at the same time. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, now we're gonna do this process standing up, because every time that you do this, what's happening is you're developing literal muscle memory and the skill and the ability to find and activate these same muscles in increasingly challenging situations, which you need if you're in the gym or doing dynamics training. Okay, so stand up. And now that you're standing, notice that you can really, again, squish deep into your stomach if you really press into it, and you can push back against the squish by activating your core muscles. So first, we are gonna pulse 5 times by flexing and releasing, flexing and releasing, flexing and releasing, flexing and releasing, flexing and releasing. All right, and now you're gonna hold the muscles for 5 seconds by flexing without releasing. So hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now let go and release. Okay, now we're gonna alternate left and right side. So we're gonna flex and hold on the left, and then flex and hold on the right. We're gonna go back and forth. So left side, flex and hold, right side, flex and hold, left side, flex and hold, right side, flex and hold. And one more on the left, flex and hold. Okay, good. And now we're gonna alternate holding that flex for 5 seconds on the left and then 5 seconds on the right. So flex and hold on the left, don't let go, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now on the right, flex and hold, don't let go, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we're gonna hold the whole core, all of it, all the way across both sides. So flex and hold everything, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So now we are moving into step number 4, which is imaginary training. So in a moment, you're gonna get into the position for the move that you wanna do. And in this case, we're imagining that you're gonna do a squat on a rack like this. And if that seems intimidating, I love that we are planting the seed for future you to be able to do this. So using no weight and only your imagination, you are gonna do the move 8 to 10 times while holding and flexing the muscle continuously. So first, let's get you in the correct form. You're gonna put your feet a little wider than shoulder width apart like this, and then put your hands up here as if you're gripping the bar. There you go. You're very strong, 45 pounds, good job. All right, and make sure your chin is up and your shoulders are back, and you want that kind of slight bend in your knees as well. You see that? Okay, now before you do the squat, before you do anything else, you need to focus on your core and make sure that you are activating those exact same muscles that we were doing before. So the goal is to hold and flex your abs and obliques continuously while you hinge down and come back up. Now, we talked before about how your activated muscles can create almost like a wall or a box or a cage, right? And that wall is helping to support however much weight you have on the bar. So it's very important to keep that core engaged nonstop while you do this. You can't just let go of your core while you're squatting, because it will break the support structure, it will throw your balance off, and that is what can lead to injury. Imaginary training is really so much safer. So we're gonna practice this 8 times, right? Just like this, just like you're seeing. Core tight, going down and then up. That's 1. And going down and then up. 2, down and up. That's 3. Down and up. That's 4. Down and up. That's 5. Down and up. That's 6. Down and up. That's 7. We can do one more. Down and up. That's 8. All right, great job. You can take a seat now. Now, when you're doing real training with real weights, like at a gym, that's where you can use step number 5. And the goal of step 5 is to perform reps and sets at the same time that you are continuously activating a particular muscle. You can see those instructions here on page 100. First, you get into the position for the move that you want to do. Then you place your hand on the muscle that you want to activate. Then you flex a couple times to confirm that you're in the right spot. Then you remove your hand, and finally you flex and you hold the same muscle while you do the move. So here's a demonstration of what that looks like for a squat. You'd get into position on the rack, and in this case you'd have a real bar. Now, before you put the bar on your back, you want to place your hand on the muscles that you want to activate, because again, we want to check and make sure that that core is really being activated. And you can flex it a couple of times to confirm that we're in the right spot. You flex and hold. So even though we're not touching the muscle anymore, we're still making sure that we are flexing and holding that correctly. And then we get into the real position and we do the squats. Okay, so before we wrap this up, let's make sure that you have the numbers written down. On page 99 of your playbook, there's this box that you can see here with the muscle activation sequence. This is exactly what we did together, all just written out for you to follow in the future. And you can see all those blank spaces. You're gonna write a 5 in every one of those spots, because that's the process that you just experienced with us now. 5 times, 5 seconds, everything is a 5, so just write your 5s in there.
Congratulations. You've just experienced a protocol to develop automatic muscle activation. So here on page 100, you should put a check mark in the box for core, day 1, and tomorrow you'll follow the same protocol again and check off day 2. You're also welcome to add other muscles to the rows below core, for example, glutes or pecs, so that you're keeping track of those sessions as well. With continued daily practice, you'll find yourself getting better and better at activating your muscles while lying down, sitting, and standing. And all of that will translate into improved performance during your real training sessions.